What if I told you that Iran, the modern-day country we know today, plays a crucial role in the Bible's overarching narrative of prophecy and global events? When most people think of the Bible, they typically focus on Israel, Egypt, and Babylon. But what if I said that Iran, known as Persia in biblical times, was not just another empire in history but a nation that was specifically mentioned in prophecy, having a hand in shaping the destiny of God's chosen people? Iran's biblical history is far more fascinating than many might realize. From the descendants of Noah to the reign of Cyrus the Great, the story of the Iranian people is interwoven with some of the most important moments in the Bible. But here's the truly surprising part. God used Persia, a nation led by pagan kings, to deliver Israel, rebuild the temple, and fulfill prophecies spoken centuries before they came to pass. In this discussion, we'll explore how the Bible reveals the origin of the Iranian people, their rise to power, and their central role in shaping both the Old Testament and prophetic visions of the future. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to discover will likely change the way you view Iran, not just as a modern nation but as a key player in God's unfolding plan for the world. Iran's biblical roots, from Noah's descendants to Persian power. To understand Iran's biblical roots, we must go back to the story of Noah and his descendants after the Great Flood. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, who became the ancestors of all the nations of the earth. Genesis 10 verse 1 says, "This is the account of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, who themselves had sons after the flood." Japheth's descendants are particularly relevant here. One of Japheth's sons, Madai, is the progenitor of the Medes. Genesis 10 verse 2. The Medes, who later became closely associated with the Persians, played a crucial role in forming the foundation of the Medo-Persian Empire, one of the most powerful empires in world history. Madai's descendants, the Medes, settled in the region that is now modern-day Iran. Eventually, the Persians, emerging from the same area, would rise to prominence. Both groups shared a common Iranian ancestry. So, according to the Bible, the ancestors of the Iranians come from Japheth through Madai, placing the Iranian people in the biblical narrative from the very beginning of post-flood history. This genealogical connection links the Iranian people to one of the oldest genealogies in the Bible and sets the stage for their significant role in the history of God's chosen people. The rise of Persia and its role in biblical history. Fast forward several centuries, and we see the rise of Persia, a kingdom that would play a pivotal role in the biblical narrative. The Medes and Persians formed an alliance under the leadership of Cyrus the Great, who founded the Achaemenid Empire, also known as the First Persian Empire. At its height, this empire stretched from the Indus River to North Africa, encompassing major regions mentioned in the Bible, including Israel, Babylon, and Egypt. But Persia's significance extends beyond its military and territorial might. What's more important is how God used this kingdom to fulfill his promises to the Israelites. In 586 BC, the Babylonian Empire, led by King Nebuchadnezzar, conquered Jerusalem, destroyed the temple, and took the people of Judah into exile. This exile lasted 70 years, exactly as prophesied by Jeremiah. This whole country will become a desolate wasteland, and these nations will serve the king of Babylon 70 years, Jeremiah 25 verse 11. Then came Cyrus the Great, the Persian king who conquered Babylon in 539 BC. Everything changed when Cyrus issued a decree allowing the Israelites to return to their homeland and rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. This event is recorded in the book of Ezra. In the first year of Cyrus king of Persia, in order to fulfill the word of the Lord spoken by Jeremiah, the Lord moved the heart of Cyrus king of Persia to make a proclamation throughout his realm. Ezra 1 verses 1-2. The decree allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. Ezra 1 verses 2-4. Remarkably, this was prophesied more than a century earlier by the prophet Isaiah, who specifically named Cyrus as God's chosen instrument. The Lord says of Cyrus, "He is my shepherd and will accomplish all that I please." Isaiah 44 verse 28. Isaiah 45 verse 1 even refers to Cyrus as God's anointed. a term usually reserved for Israelite kings. In one of the most astonishing moments in biblical history, God used a pagan king and a foreign empire to bring about the restoration of his people, demonstrating that he can work through anyone to fulfill his purposes. Persia's role in the preservation of Israel, the story of Esther. Persia's involvement in biblical history did not end with Cyrus and the rebuilding of the temple. Another key moment occurred during the reign of King Xerxes, also known as Ahasuerus in the Bible, which is recorded in the book of Esther. A plot was hatched by Haman, an official in the Persian court, to exterminate the Jews living throughout the empire. Haman's hatred for the Jews led him to manipulate the king into issuing a decree that would allow for their annihilation. However, God had a different plan. Through his providence, a young Jewish woman named Esther had become queen of Persia. With the encouragement of her cousin Mordecai, Esther courageously revealed her Jewish identity to the king and pleaded for her people's survival. As Mordecai told her, "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther 4 verse 14. Esther's brave intervention resulted in a dramatic reversal. The king ordered Haman's execution, and a new decree was issued allowing the Jews to defend themselves. This story, celebrated annually during the Jewish festival of Purim, is a powerful example of how God used Persia to protect his people from destruction. Persia in biblical prophecy, the visions of Daniel, and the future role of Iran. Persia's place in the Bible is not limited to historical events. It also plays a significant role in the prophetic visions found in the book of Daniel, which reveal the rise and fall of world empires and the ultimate triumph of God's kingdom. Daniel, a Jewish prophet who served in both the Babylonian and Persian courts, had a vision of a great statue in Daniel 2, with different parts made of various materials, representing different world empires. The statue's chest and arms of silver symbolized the Medo-Persian Empire, which succeeded Babylon as the dominant power in the ancient world. Later, in Daniel 7, Daniel had another vision of 4 beasts, with the second beast, a bear raised on one side, representing the Medo-Persian Empire. Another significant vision involving Persia is found in Daniel 8, where Daniel sees a ram with 2 horns, symbolizing the Medes and Persians. This ram charges in all directions, conquering vast territories until a goat, representing Greece under Alexander the Great, defeats it. These visions confirm that Persia's rise and fall were not accidents of history but part of God's prophetic timeline. Even beyond Persia's historical role, many scholars and theologians believe that Iran, modern-day Persia, will play a critical role in the end times. One of the most significant prophecies concerning Persia is found in Ezekiel 38-39, which describes a coalition of nations, including Persia, coming against Israel in the last days. This event, known as the War of Gog and Magog, points to a future confrontation involving Persia.